Hi, and welcome to Danny After Dark. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a notification or a new episode. Tonight is a little bit of a chill, along with some very special announcements about the Manson Saga Discussion Panel over on the Paulcast. Originally, Paul and Mr. Beckham were supposed to be here tonight to go over the announcements, but let's be real, I'm the one you guys care about, so I'll take care of that. Oh, actually, looks like we have people backstage. I'll throw them a bone and invite them on. Hello, Paul. Hello, Beckham.
That was terrible. I mean, it's swing and a miss, Danny. Oh man, get used to that again. Hello, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back.
How are you guys doing?
You're doing good. How are you doing, Beckham? You look
good.
Like
I'm doing really well. Really well.
Yeah, you look like you're mourning the loss of a Cowboys game, but I don't know if they even played.
So we won. We won Thanksgiving Day. It's been great.
Cheer up, man.
Oh, man. So before we dive into Manson Saga Discussion Panel stuff, if you guys can tell, my voice is a little off still. So I was supposed to do a live, oh my gosh, like a week and a half ago, but I canceled it because I was sick. Turns out I went almost 4 years and then I finally caught COVID. So yeah, I was out with COVID. It kicked my ass, but I am back and so excited to be back. And so many of you guys messaged me because I canceled that live and I said I canceled it because I was sick. I didn't know at the time it was COVID, but thank you guys so much for checking in. And yeah, it's so great to be back. Beckham was bothering me nonstop, being like, let's go live. And I'm like, well, I can't go on camera. And then my voice is so bad. I'm like, I can't even be on mic. So
I was like, okay, I got to figure it out from a fourth source that we're not having a show.
What fourth source? You're one of the first people I messaged saying, hey, I'm sick.
Wait a sec. Danny, can you do me a favor and can you highlight Mega Zorlak's picture? It's something different. Have you seen this?
No.
This big fucking news. How you doing, Mr. Mega Zorlak? Mr. Troy?
Am I missing something?
It's been a beard?
It's been fucking, you guys are out of your mind. It's been Dracula or fucking Vlad the Impaler forever. That was his picture there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so just that there was an avatar picture change.
Yes. Oh my God.
You know what, Paul? This is not your show. So, all right, before we jump into stuff, you guys seem so excited to see both of these guys here. So let's see who's here. James Watson, Linda. Look at Linda. Is it a Three Musketeers union? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Hi, Shelly. Let's see. Fiddle is here, of course. Steph W., Chris James, Capone, Scotty, Nick Norris. Nick has a compliment. Look at how fucking cool the shrine is looking these days.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. K-Dog, Kane, Tony, Troy, of course. Let's see.
What is that
Linda.
To the back
Yes, I was.
Yeah, that.
Michael McCulley.
That's my scroll. Well, that's my my Buddhist thing.
Oh, okay.
My medicine Buddha.
Look at this. There's so many. So good to see you guys again.
Good to see you guys all again. You've had a nice bit of time off. I played the hell out of some drums. Been doing a lot of reading again. It's starting to slow down for the winter. We're having a little bump right now. It's hilarious. As soon as we're going to do shows again, it's just like gets busy again for a little bump before winter. But we figured this time it would be good to go through. As for me anyway, I've had my head rocked a bunch of times with this thing. I mean, you guys
we have no idea.
Over my feet. Yeah. So it's going to be, so I've been going through transcripts and books and comparing, and I think doing that live will be really interesting because there's certain things that aren't highlighted a lot, and I think that I think that they need to be, because they add to the story, and they also, add to the story. Everything, it feels like half the time you're adding mud, and then the other half you're adding shit, because it's just, there's so much stuff. But it's interesting going through the transcripts again after having read so many books, because you see where the authors are getting all the things from, and you look differently at the stuff written closer to the trial. And it's been an interesting little walkthrough, and some interesting stuff has come out of it. We're gonna be going on again. I guess we'll try and do once a week, but one of the shows will be something that we've prepared for you guys with the information that we're looking at, because it takes a lot of work. And the other one will just be us chilling and chatting with you guys,
talking with you guys too, if we want to go in depth about what we covered the week prior, or if there's something else on your mind with the case, or if news comes out all the time. So if there's something you guys want to talk about, that's the time. We're just hanging out, having a good time. It's really laid back and hanging out with you guys. That's kind of the foundation of what we're doing, and we want to definitely continue that.
Yeah. And we're going to be doing Thursday nights, unless, something comes up. We all have families and things that happen, but it's going to be fun. Thursday nights, the same time, 7 p.m. Pacific, to 10 p.m. Eastern.
10 p.m. Eastern.
That's crazy. That's so funny. We have a couple of interviews in the works.
Yes.
And no, James, it's not Tom O'Neill. No, he's not going to fucking come on our show. Are you kidding? No way. No way.
Well, let's keep it honest with everybody. We are willing to offer Mr. Beckham's glasses if that will get Tom O'Neill on. So things are still in the works. Let's not rule it out.
Hey, he can meet him. He can meet me at El Coyote.
Yeah, there you go. 2 p.m. Friday, New Zealand time. Yeah, there you go. So we wanted to do this one and just come on and chat a little bit about, some of the stuff we're going to be looking at, and just chill, break the rust off, basically. I'm going to be fucking back to square one for a little bit here.
Well, Paul, did you also want to talk about a little bit? So we're going to still do the interactive show with you guys, because that's really the best way that we have found to do this type of show. But this is going to be a little bit different than your past Manson Saga Discussion Panel episodes. And Paul, did you want to kind of talk about that?
Well, just that the one is going to be, we're going to start around, because we want to talk about the crimes again, and because it's broken into so many parts, and like the crime scene looking the way it did at Cielo and Waverly on account of the copycat thing, but what's behind that? And there's like players that have been left out of the Crow burn that I think are important, and I think comparing the different things said by each person, like in a show, is important, like especially because it can kind of, putting it all under a microscope together, it just puts it all out there to, like, this is everything they said. So how close is it? How different is it? Like, is it that with this story, you go through it, and how much of it is you grabbing on with your sensibilities, and how much of it is actual proof? Like, it's really hard not to be like, well, I wouldn't do that, or I would do that. And but so we're gonna do a little bit of that. We're probably gonna start around the meeting Dennis Wilson, because a lot of everything, Wilson is one of the linchpins to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Manson met Watson through Dennis Wilson, Charlene Caffritz, who in turn he met Sharon Tate. Like, they were all in the same circle. Charlene Caffritz went to Sharon Tate's funeral, right? Like, it's all in that circle. But we're going to be looking at, different relationships in the commune and that were kind of put on the back burner as well. And again, this is us learning in real time in front of you guys. So I will be wrong all the time. But we'll show you as much information. It's not actually, this isn't really for me about being right or wrong. It's kind of putting all the information out there in a way that you can sift through and see what makes sense to all the evidence that's put out there, and where some of the myths and stuff come from, if they are myths. Yeah.
Well, I think also a good way to kind of, we took quite a bit of a break because, life got busy again, and it just gave us a time to sit back and kind of just casually, like you said, re-look at documents, re-look at what we've done and what we've read and researched. And we've said since day one when we started this project, we don't have any personal ties to this. So we are just very open to digesting and learning everything here. And as we've been doing that for the past 3 years, there's been so much that we've learned along the way with you guys, as you've seen in past episodes. And even still now, like Paul said, reading stuff and it's like, well, wait a minute, how did this get overlooked? Or why isn't this discussed when this is a really big deal? So we definitely want to kind of go back and give a lot more information to you guys as we've been learning ourselves. This is one of those cases we could probably do a live show every single day of the week, 365 days a year, and we still wouldn't crack it. I mean,
there's no the amount of reading. Oh my God, there'd be no way. But
but I'm up for the challenge. Who would like a Paulcast show every single day of the week?
No fucking way, not Paulcast. No. But I'm gonna, and I mean, for me too, it's like there's been a learning situation in a bunch of different ways, and I think that I've got to go into it open to everything. You feel like you are, but like to really like look at it and really challenge what you think about everything and why you think it, and it's good. It's a good refresh on the thing. Now a lot of it, like lots of things still line up, and the way I'm going to talk about it is going to be very like this equals this equals this. But when I'm looking at it, that's not meaning that I'm like ironclad on any of it, right? And I think it goes without saying, we got to say it anyway.
So Troy's comment Paul, do you want to address that for those who maybe haven't seen the post that you did over on the Manson Saga Discussion,
right?
Manson Saga Discussion Panel channel.
So the thing for me with the cut wires at Sebring's place is, and it's, yeah. So, okay. How do I say? Okay. So the problem for me with it is that, well, one thing, it's the guy said that he went there and looked at the cut wires after the murders, right? On when he went to go and get pants for Sebring for his funeral. And on the official document, which Tom acknowledges in the video, it says that it was on the 4th or 5th that he went there to go and he saw the cut wire. Now, that's just like right there. It's his word against the document, which is, whatever. Documents could have mistakes, but people telling the story decades later could be mistaken as well, right? Like memories can get pushed together and that sort of thing. So I'm not saying like yay or nay, but the way that it is in the document, it says that he thinks that the wires were cut a few days before he saw them. And if it happened on the days that they were talking about in the document, then it would have put it closer to the very start of the month. Mm-hmm. So the other thing is, I can't quite get my head around the way he explains the light flashing on, and because the way I understand documents like search warrants with mistakes, yeah, that it didn't have the wrong date on it though, which is funny. So, oh shit, I lost my train of thought. Get used to that again too. What was I talking about?
You're talking about
the transcript and the date of the cut wires.
Oh yeah, the cut wires case. So, if it was the 3 days before and it was earlier in the week, then that doesn't have anything to do with the people that were there other than Sebring, right? And then that makes Sebring the target. Frykowski and Abigail Folger had the most damage out of anybody there. Frykowski was selling with Billy Doyle and stuff. My meds, they don't do anything for my focus, Linda. So anyway, so the way that the electrical works is your circuit is either, like, let's say that my two hands are a circuit. If it's the circuit's made like this, electricity can go through and the light will go on. If it's like this, it's off, right? There's nothing happening. If you take a light and you grab the cord to it and you cut it, the light won't stay on for a second while the electricity leaves the wire, right? It won't flash. It'll just go out. If you cut an electrical wire that's plugged in to a light that's off, this
is so entertaining. Keep going.
No. If you cut the wire of a light that's off,
did you practice this already?
It's not going to flash. I know somebody who has done it. And so anyway, the way it could work, but not with them just flashing on and off.
Can we phone a friend?
The way it could work. Yeah, if you want to ask him about this, Linda, you could always show him the video too of that O'Neill put up. But the way that I understand it is, if he had, like, say he had some sort of control that he could control everything from one room, it would be a powered control box, and each thing that was in that box would have its own separate power going to it, right? And if the wire was cut to the control box and the default to those lights was on, then they would go on, then it would go on, right? Okay. And it would stay on because the power would be gone to it, unless that wire was cut as well. And then the light would go off. It wouldn't go like this, right? Unless somebody went and put them back together.
This is very, very informative.
What I mean? But do you know what I mean? Like,
did you just flip Danny off?
No, I should have.
Oh, Friends
I missed
style?
the opportunity.
Remember Friends when they used to do that to each other?
Yeah.
Danny.
But yeah, so the cut wires at Sebrings, the way that he explains how it worked almost works, but it doesn't quite, like, it doesn't compute. And I've asked electricians that I know, and they've all been like, what the fuck are you talking about? It sounds like you're explaining two things. It sounds like you're explaining, like, what I just explained, but also it sounds like he's explaining, if you go down a hallway and you have one light switch at the end of the light that turns it on one end, then you can turn it off on the other end.
Yeah. I have that in my in my bathroom.
It sounds like he's explaining that mixed with that other thing. So that's between that, it being an old memory, it being a different date on the official document, like, I don't know that I wasn't able to hit the email address I had for him wasn't online anymore. So it was, yeah. So, I mean, I don't even know if the guy's alive. But that's just kind of the thing I have with it. It's shaky on the date, and it's shaky on the flashing of the lights. And the other thing too is when you look at the lights flashing. So if the lights flashed, then why would the murderers run away? Because if they saw a parent first and he surprised them and they were in the bush and they could have just hid until he gone by and then ran away because they were spooked. You know what I mean? Like, why would a flood or a light that's below the canopy of windows that goes on, why would that freak him out? And there was a light on at Cielo as well.
Yeah.
Paul, this is a good, so Eric asks a good question, and no, you don't sound stupid, Eric, never. He never understood what's the real link to the murders with what we're discussing.
If it was done the night,
a run through.
If it was done the night before, it was either a run through or they got scared off because the victims were at Sebring's house and there was a cut wire at Sebring's, and then the next night,
so they
the other wires were cut.
Before. That's interesting.
Well, that's what the video puts forward, right?
Yeah.
That this guy says that the wires had been cut around the night before the murders or whatever. But it's like give or take. He was saying, like, you know, he says there's rust on there of about 3 days, and it's like, okay, well, maybe, but it's all give or take, right?
It's kind of interesting.
So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. I'm
just saying, like, it's interesting that police didn't spend more time investigating the relation between the two homes and because of course, at that time, they would have gotten a hold of the kid or the young man, right, and said, we need a formal statement. Retrack your steps. What happened formally? Mm-hmm. Then they would have got professionals to go through the entire process of how it's set up. They would have pulled the what do you call it? How it's designed and all that, design. They would have pulled the design of it. If it was something special that he had added to the house for, for his little, nightcaps, whatever he had going on. So, so it would have been officially right on. It would have been. They would have really looked at it into it. So I'm surprised that it wasn't investigated deeper. And I wonder if Paramount had something to do with that.
Well, I wonder if there's any more documents to do with it in the. Yeah. But the thing is that there are two places where it says it, and it could just be coincidental. We don't know where the wire is. If there was a cut wire at Sebring's, then there was just an open electrical wire out in the open.
But I think that would have been 1,000,001 chance, days. Dude. I don't know.
It would be 1,000,001 chance. But the thing is, if it was on the ground, and it's a lawnmower hits it, right? Then it's just like zap, right? Like and you're down. And the guy's like, oh shit.
Juan Carlos is gonna get zapped the next Wednesday.
But it's just like a quick back, right? Like,
I guess. I don't know.
Oh, it's supposed to. Okay, so it's rumored what Zorlak's talking about right now. He said something else earlier that I gotta actually get to first, and so did Kenny. Okay, so Kenny, the Portola, it's not that close. Like there's a big hill in between them, and it's not like a walking hill. It's like a sharp hill.
Yeah.
It's like a tiny mountain in between the two roads. And also right by Rudy Weber's house, one house up, there was a flop house that Rudy Weber talked about in his interview with the cops. And so I'm speculating, but I'm guessing that they went up there. The water wasn't turned on because nobody was paying the bills. It was just an empty flop house. And Rudy Weber's was right there, and his hose is right on the front. So they were parked a little bit ways down from there. But we'll talk more about that on an episode, because we're going to go through the timeline to show that there was time if Manson did go back, but there was some of the evidence shows that certain things couldn't have happened as well. So
I'd like just to point out, an expert has weighed in. Fiddle says exterior lighting is usually run through buried conduit. Access would only be possible at the beginning and end of the conduit.
Right.
Thank
you.
So
it'd be near the ground. Yeah.
I just want to go back because there was a good question and I don't want it to go overlooked. K-Dog asks, are you guys going to deep dive anything? And he loves to use the term deep dive.
Yeah. Are we going to deep dive this whole fucking thing? I think. No, we're going to show a bit of more information on, and it's not like stuff that we're discovering. It's just stuff that gets missed in amongst all the headlines. But Watson's connection, how he got into the fam jam, what his relationship was like with people at the ranch, with Mary Brunner, with there's some interesting stuff. And then we're going to, I was going on a question, wasn't I? And then
what we're going to deep dive.
We're going to deep dive. Yeah. So
there's a lot of things.
Stuff like that. I think it's mainly just what I'd like to do, and how much of it we'll be able to do, we'll see. But, comparing testimony of people all the way along, and, looking at things that seem to get lost in the shuffle, like the thing with Lots of Papa. There's a bit more of that I'd like to look at. Just talking out the timeline from the time they got up to Cielo to the time they got back, to show how much time there was between then and when the maid came, to show that what could have happened in amongst that time there, and lots of other stuff. We got lots of stuff written down.
Yeah, we do. And our Facebook group has been such a great place for you guys who have been sharing and asking great questions, sharing information and resources and documents. So, keep that going. That has been awesome. And I think that's also a great thing too. If there's something that you guys, if a lot of you guys are saying, we really want to know more about this, and there's information and research we can do, let us know. And we'll see. Somebody
made a very good point actually about the wire being cut close to when they were murdered.
Was it Family Guy's comment?
Yeah, Family Guy. You would think Jay would have it fixed by then if it was cut days before. Yeah, maybe. If he could have gotten it fixed, it would have gotten, he said, if the guy had looked at it on the 4th or 5th and had to get some sort of special something or whatever, you never know. But
that's what I was saying. If police would have, if police would have investigated the connection, they would have been able to get, because I think there was a much more advanced electricity thing going, you know what I mean, like electric wiring going on than what
the only things I've seen is the write-up about Paul Greenwald, what he said about the wire, and then it says on the property report for Cielo, Jay Sebring, and it's like black wire or something written by his name, and that's all I've seen of it.
So Wolf actually made a comment earlier. I wasn't able to get to it, but I did see it. So Wolf mentioned that he is reading or just read the book from the other juror that I had just reviewed. And he is saying, after reading the notes from the 2 jurors, it seems like everybody involved blames Charlie and talks about the hole in the desert, etc. None of them testified against that narrative. Yeah, you're right. Paul, you haven't read the other book. You just have William Zamora's, right?
Yeah. I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got rid of that one. Didn't Jay call the electrician that night? He's supposed to have. His cable going out. Now, if that was, yeah, I mean, maybe.
Thank you. I don't have the book near me, and I knew. Yeah, thank you for putting that. That is the book. Beckham, you have been quite quiet, but I know you wanted to make a point too. So just going off of taking a step away from the cut wires. So Beckham, one thing that you're really, really interested in us exploring more is Reeve Whitson's cousin. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Well, working with Nancy, she has the Nancy. What's her name? What's her channel? The Moonshine.
True Crime and Moonshine.
True Crime and Moonshine.
Yeah, she was contacted by somebody with some information that about Reeve Whitson and his family. Now, like a couple years ago, we had me aside from us with another group, had really dug into Reeve, like his whole family tree, all of that, and verified the family and verified that they were acrobats and we verified that they were part of that scene, right? Everything that you had read was true. We verified that, nothing that I found doing my research on Reeve Whitson linked him to any government agency, zero, right? So we had shows that, like ever, nothing, no military, no government entity or agency that he was linked to, and we covered it on shows. We talked about it on at least two or three different shows that we covered that. So it was crazy to find out that he had a cousin. So working with Nancy, and she's talked about it already on her show, so I can go ahead and talk about it here. But I don't know if some of the people in the audience have actually know this. I was actually able to verify that his cousin was in California, was in Los Angeles, was in the area, and his cousin was indeed an FBI agent who retired in 1981. And even after retirement, he did work for certain agents. You still work. You can still be a consultant. He did all that stuff. So he definitely was an FBI agent. He was in the Los Angeles area. I verified that, verified government pension, all that stuff. That if you work for the government, you're gonna have. Okay, this ghost stuff doesn't exist. That's the movies. Okay. And it's like there's no ghosts. Everybody retires and everybody gets pensions and everybody has military records and all that kind of stuff. Anyway,
well, that's how they found Clay Shaw, right? Like there was even a trail to him.
Right. So it's like, yeah. So he was. So and this is another character we don't know about. We have a new character that linked to the one of the main characters in this story, and supposedly. And we've been kind of hidden back and forth, kind of, bouncing this around, as that he was looking more into the sex trafficking stuff. So, so that has me right now, like my mind is spinning right now because of all the stuff that came out with Hugh Hefner like a year and a half ago, right? And his connections to that, his connection to Robert Evans. His connection, I mean, it's all connected with Polanski. Polanski is the variable there, right? And Polanski was accused and sentenced for his, the thing with the underage girl, right? He was sentenced. And, but all that whole group, man. But anyway, so just we did find that Reeve Whitson has a cousin who was an FBI agent that was in LA at the time, and what he might have been looking through or looking into was something more significant than what we're even talking about.
Right. And if there is a connection to do with sex trafficking and it did have anything to do with the family, you've also got Manson going into Nevada and going to see Charlene Kaffritz,
Right.
Who,
There's been rumors of that too.
met
Yeah,
through,
right.
who he met through Wilson,
Right.
Dennis Wilson,
Mhm.
and all those people, and was connected to Sharon Tate and stuff. And so she was supposed to have a brothel out in Nevada. And
Right.
there's Nicholas Schreck found a document that they had talked to her, and she was supposed to have had video of the family, which is also said in the book The Family by Ed Sanders, that there was some. Now, he didn't say porn or anything, and it doesn't say porn or anything.
Remember, porn was illegal, was a major illegal
major
act,
no
before 1974. It would, yeah, or
but
three.
we'll look much more
and
into
Massaro.
that.
I mean, you want to put in Massaro in there. He was moving women from California to Nevada to Florida as far as the dancing and stuff, which could be considered sex trafficking still.
The thing to me is, it's funny because there's a couple of different ways that you've got a bunch of different narratives going on at once.
You do. There's a lot of crime. There's a lot of crime going on.
There's a lot of crime going on. And I mean, the way that Manson and them go through, and they try and make things look more noble than they are. Mm-hmm. Of like we're killing because of it's war. It's we're doing this because to fight the system, and your brothers is love and all this nonsense. But it's the Manson would say things like, oh, they're not so nice, the people up there, all that sort of thing. And that could have been how he justified, if he had something to do with sending them up to that house. He had known who they were. He had known what they were up to, if they were up to this stuff with underage.
I'm starting to think
which
so.
He was as well. So
well, I mean, right. But was it how underage are we talking? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was the time
we don't know what
people were getting married like at, younger age.
Sure.
Too. So
there's lots of accounts of Manson keeping the underage ones at a different location than the the ranch.
Yeah, right.
So there's different things that show that it could be happening up at Cielo. But that's the thing with this. A whole bunch of stuff could be happening. The cut wire could be a thing, or it couldn't.
Right. But it's worth talking
You're
about.
right. What was really going to go that night with the special lighting, right? I mean, I'm just saying, that's because.
Well, the light was it's just a control thing. The light was the floodlight he was talking about outside.
Yeah. Well, I thought I meant inside. I thought I read somewhere it was supposed to be like a special room lit thing.
It's a thing.
I've read that somewhere, man. I don't know.
The ball comes out of the ceiling.
I think they were supposed to watch a movie, but it was supposed to dim or something was supposed to happen with the lights or something.
I think you're thinking of Austin Powers when he's on the plane and he hits the thing.
So much stuff.
Bed starts spinning.
I'm pretty sure.
I know that.
I'm pretty sure Sebring was working towards that. He started with the lighting first. All right.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh man. So just to kind of put everything in a pretty bow. So yes, these are just a couple of the things that we have been looking at, and we're going to deep dive more. There's going to be a lot more than this. So we're really excited to kind of do a little bit more of a revamp, if you will. But yeah, because we've learned so much, and yeah, we just want to share this with you guys. And please know that all of your comments in our Facebook group and the messages that we get and on our Instagram, the kind comments that you guys say, especially when you're like, is there going to be an episode? When are you guys coming back? It really means a lot that you guys miss us. And I'm really looking forward to, getting back to it.
It's the reason. Yeah, it's the reason we're coming back, man. We would easily, if it hadn't been as much fun chatting with you guys about this sort of stuff, it wouldn't have been as tempting to come back. I
mean, behind the scenes, Paul and Beckham have been begging me to come back to Manson Saga. Yeah. They're like, Danny, you're becoming a huge star, Danny After Dark. Remember your roots.
Yeah, but no, we were talking about you need to dye your roots. They're coming through a little. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Hey, Brent Beck, good to see you. And who else popped in?
Thanks, Family
Auntie
Guy.
Mimi did. Hello, Auntie Mimi.
James Watson's comments are amazing.
I know. Some of them I'm like, I don't even want to put that on screen. But yes, James Watson, I see you. I see you. The better Paul, of course, is here. Doug Smith has a comment.
Yep.
We did extensive research into teenage sex trafficking at Manson blog. Myself and 2 others found some very interesting information.
Yep.
Nice. I'm gonna have to look into that a bit more. Do you have that? Send the links, Doug, to the to your blog posts.
Paul, do you want to put your email?
I didn't even realize Doug worked for Manson. I've been talking to him for a while.
I think I worked with Doug a little bit a long time ago.
You know what? Paul learns every single day, and this
Doug,
is a great example.
We worked together. We just
Doug and Paul get in contact.
Yeah. Craig, I don't color my hair. It's just dark in here. It's like I am so gray.
You have special lighting going on in your background. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, wait.
If I turn it on, I turn into like Mel Brooks.
Since my boo is here, boo, Craig's Vinyl Plethora, he messaged me and put me on to
That's right, Doug.
my latest thing.
Oh, shit, look at that.
San Quentin record. Do I have a record player? No, but that doesn't matter.
Look at that. That's sweet. Looks like it's in good shape.
Yes. So thank you, Craig.
Dude, I'm missing Boston, man. I want to go back. It was fun. Danny.
Oh, well, I thought you said Austin. It's in Austin, Texas. I was like, okay.
Boston. Yeah, Shelly and I want to go back. Maybe, we'll see. Maybe next year again. I don't know.
Yes. Auntie Mimi wants to meet Paul.
Oh, man.
That'd be funny, Paul. You going to Boston. That would be
a
thing. That would be hilarious.
Oh, my God.
You need to have a cold Samuel Adams across from a cold Samuel Adams.
Oh my gosh, that was such a Paul. Oh my Corey, I meant to message you earlier, but Paul, would you like to share your Nickelback story from earlier?
Oh my God, you guys. Okay, so I I went in today to get a filling, which I mean everybody loves a good needle in the gums. That's always a good time, and then all the crazy shit they do in there. Not only was I laying there, but I mean it's a well-known fact to people who know me how much I dislike Nickelback. And so I'm laying there, I'm getting poked and potted and drilled, and all of a sudden it's like, look at this photograph, and I'm like, fuck, really? I'm like, come on, this isn't enough. And so they're like working, and I'm like, start drilling again, and they're like, what? And it sounded like, but I really wanted them to start the drill again because it sounded way better.
Good night, Craig. Thank you for stopping in.
Good night, Craig.
Yeah, that was funny.
You know what's fun?
Can you do that again? I mean, it sounds just like the thing.
Look at this photograph. Yeah.
Chad the dentist.
No, Chad was the dentist. Yeah, it would have hurt a lot more. It poked and prodded and drilled. Like and subscribe. Do I like Sublime? I do like Sublime. I do, yeah. And it's because when I was a kid, I used to go spend a lot of time on this island called Gabriola, and all the girls over there would listen to Sublime, and I got a taste for it. I was like, this is kind of cool.
You did.
I know.
No, are you kidding? I was like a fat, awkward kid. I like how awkward I am now, even on it.
Did you see the article that Doug posted?
There you go, Paul.
I saw that. I'm going to go onto it and star it so I can read it.
Lisa James, I like you. Otherwise, I would time you out. But you're walking a thin line there. Could have been worse.
That's how we first met.
Don't you fucking dare time her out. How dare you?
Danny, how did we all first meet? Really?
Fleetwood Mac on Paul's live.
Paul just kept skipping over you, dude.
I know. I first meet
40
Beckham
times.
online, and Beckham has my back from day one. Paul, not so much.
Paul just kept skipping over her comments for 45
minutes. We have a comment that Fleetwood Mac would have calmed you down.
Yeah,
I think you even played.
Oh, could you imagine if it had been like, look at this photograph, and then all of a sudden it's like Fleetwood Mac? I'm like, who's torturing me?
It's like landslide.
Dude, I think you even
and then
played
somebody
Doo-Doo
just starts
Brown.
punching me in the face.
I
Like Doo-Doo Brown.
I think you even played it before her song request. Remember how you were doing song requests?
I would rather listen to Doo-Doo Brown all night long than listen to Fleetwood Mac.
Luke Skywalker. That's funny.
So Fiddle agrees that there was a lot of fun on Gabriella.
Gabriella. How? Gabriella? Gabriola.
Okay, well, he misspelled it, so.
Gabriella.
Wow,
Gabriella.
Richard, hello.
Yeah.
So things are.
Mine was like, I guess we have to do this now. He's so tired after your wedding.
Oh, man. Then you didn't do it right. Anyway.
Do I ever? No.
So, yes, thank you guys for. Hey, Brian Smith, look at you in at the last moment.
Hello, Brian. Hey, beautiful bastard.
Can you do Sharon Does Drugs?
Yes, these are the great things to look forward to over on the Paulcast, Manson Saga Discussion Panel. So, if anybody's watching who is more so just a Danny After Dark regular, and you're like, who the hell are these two guys, and what the hell are you talking about? Go over to the Paulcast, Manson Saga Discussion Panel. If Charles Manson in that case is your thing, we got you. We got you covered. We have 3 years of episodes if you want to go back and binge them. Yep, but disclaimer, we started out as every YouTuber does, a little.
Oh no,
yeah, we've grown.
I want to take all of our old stuff off of the internet, and Danny won't let me. Danny and Bear are like, no. We worked hard on this. And I'm like, fuck. Because
we did.
And I probably look the way now too, but like I had to go through and look at some stuff. I look arrogant as shit, which I'm not. And it's like, I mean, I'm not. I don't want to be. And then some of the stuff we say, I'm just like, oh my God, you guys, come on. And then, but I mean, so I guess I have to keep it, and the damage has been done. What's our juiciest Manson episode? Well, there's cool stuff that I think is that
Massaro stuff. I'm just playing.
Well, there's a bunch of stuff. So there's Mary's connection to Tex Watson. There's, I think, the Dennis Wilson. I think how Tex got into the family doesn't get looked at enough.
No, what was? So an episode that we did in the past.
Oh, what do you mean juiciest?
Man.
Oh, you mean like
I know like that answer.
The one that caused the most pain in the ass would have been the Straight Satan's one, or the jacket. That would have been that was the worst, and I hated that. I don't like anything, and in this season, I am ignoring all of that shit. It's all about the information, man. It's so easy to get sucked into the bullshit, and there's no point. Right? Like there's no one who looks like you can be exactly. You see what I'm saying? Fuck. Susan's husband. No, okay, so the couple of interviews we have coming up are going to be really interesting. They're with authors, but we don't want to put out the date right yet because there's always room for error, and I hate canceling. So we're just gonna wait, and once it's all set in stone and all ready to go, then we'll let you guys know what's going on.
James,
you never came off as Aaron. I thought I did.
Watching the same show that I've
you
been
kind of
on
were,
for
Paul.
3
You kind of were.
See. I bet, like, the thing is, it's so funny.
I know all the information.
I'm just you. It wasn't like that, but I'm sure I did that at some times because I was so like, you get so into it. And
I'd like to. I'd like to give a revised answer about the juiciest episode. Zesty. So, okay, the juiciest episodes are the ones that are not up, and they were Paul's morning rants.
Oh no,
those were the juiciest.
No, those were shitty. I
tried to save you so many times. I tried.
I was always asleep.
I've worked on my temper.
And I'd be driving to work and it'd be notification, the Paulcast is live. I'm like, shit. And I'd message Paul. I'm like, get off YouTube. Yeah. Russell says the Karate Dave one.
Karate Dave.
That was funny.
That was, I think, Beckham's favorite.
That was good. He was real.
Paul Watkins and Blackbeard are characters we never really look into. There's some interesting stuff I've just been reading about Melton in the not like so much about Melton, but just around the ripoff surrounding Melton.
Clifford says Danny's birthday roast.
That was a fun.
The first one.
Let's say which one.
The one that was like hardcore shut down because that was so bad.
But that one got pulled.
Is that the one that Beers came on?
No, that was the one we had. Wayne came on.
Oh God.
Oh gosh, Renee, go get some rest, man. Oh my God, 1,000 miles in 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah, Nicholas was always really good to come on. He's been a real help to our show, And
hey, Trucker, good to see you, hon.
It's been nice. We've been able to have we've been able to talk to some really interesting people, really interesting authors, and
so Trekker,
it's going to be we're going to try and continue that going forward on this one and see how many episodes we have to do to get the point across that we do, or not so much the point across, but just the information out that we want to put out there.
That's a better way to put it.
There was always
the information.
You know how there was always a rumor about whether the FBI was watching Cielo and all that kind of stuff? You know how you've always just kind of heard it?
Cielo, yeah.
Now with Reeve Whitson's cousin being FBI there, it's kind of like, was it then?
Well, it adds...
It adds to the lore, right? It adds to the story.
There's so many things that you could be like, well, was he friends with the Tate? So he called in a favor with his cousin to look into stuff. Like
all kinds of I mean? You never know.
There's all sorts of ways you can go with it. What's your first concert?
Well, that's a bit of a turn.
But I love it. I'll fucking do it forever. Metallica was my favorite. Was my first concert. That was my very first.
Paul's lying. His first concert was Nickelback, and that was.
Like that, yeah. Okay, so whatever, Danny.
Oh my. Okay, Clifford, I'm so glad you just said that because I thought the same thing, and then for a second I'm like, wait a minute, did I just say what I think I saw?
Yeah,
I slid.
Hey, Brent. I know I am not, and again, I went back and I was like, and this is not fucking. But the thing is, these are just the things that make it shaky for me. It sucks because you can't really get anything more solid out of it yet. There will be more information coming out eventually, so maybe there'll be something that shows that they were like, oh well, we figured this out because they didn't go down that road really in the investigation, and it would have just would have made them look more guilty. The only thing I can think of why, if it was a cover up to do with that side of it, would be because if they didn't look like random victims, then Helter Skelter wouldn't be as much to be able to be at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Doug, this is for you, Paul. Pretty sure he emailed you photos
of the teenage informants of the freak informant working at the Spawn Chop Shop. I think you did too. I'm gonna have to go back and take a look at it. Lately I've just been going through. I've been going through the different crimes and the way that it's recounted in the trial testimonies. I'm just trying to see what's going on in that, and I think there's some interesting stuff that just kind of passes by when you're reading about certain things. So yeah, and it's good that we're doing this one, because if this was our first episode back, I would fucking quit. I'm totally tripping over
this
my
is
feet.
Like I said, I've missed you guys on my channel. This was the perfect place to be to announce I've missed you guys. I was sick with COVID and I wanted to get back and just do something light. And these two begged and begged and begged to come on. So this was the perfect opportunity.
Oh God.
I know.
Here
Never
it starts.
stops.
Here it starts.
What's the deal with White Rabbit? Was he legit part of the commune? Now, I've heard that he was a big time bullshitter and would just tell stories as long as you give him some money. But that's just word of mouth. I haven't ever dove into who he really is. I think he was around. Like, I think they knew him.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So that's Doug. Do you have that?
Thank you.
Because I know that I've seen the a write up, like a official write up on a rape allegation of Manson, and I'm wondering if Doug, if you have that, and if you do, can you email it to me? I won't publish it. I just want to see it again so I can. 0 Manson, Vance, Karate, Dave, identified, possibly one other. I have the police files. Yeah, I'd love to see them. That's crazy. Yeah, that's the thing. Somebody. No, I won't. All
right.
Okay.
So we're coming up on an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It
I still have
has
to go to
been.
the gym.
Huh?
I still have to go to the gym. I'm gonna go to the gym.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to say I am exhausted after today. One, it's like 10:30 at night here where I am. But today was the first day I left the house in almost a week and a half and went back to work, and I am exhausted. So if there's any last minute things to kind of wrap up with you guys, but other than that, yeah, your Manson Saga discussion panel is back.
Mm-hmm. Back and rustier than ever. We're ready to go.
And I think I speak for a lot of our viewers, about probably 90% of the viewers. People will probably be looking forward to Fiddle roasting everything you say in the chat while we're live.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's one of my favorite things about the show.
Him and James and
Russell.
Thank you all very much. Yeah, thank you all very much for showing up and for showing interest in us doing this. I like being able to bounce this stuff off you, because Buddy made the point up top, Family Guy, about the cut wires that was really good, right?
Yeah.
That why wouldn't they have been fixed? So that makes sense. Will there be cats? There will always be cats. Danielle has a pride of cats. I don't know if that's what you actually call a group of them, but it's, man.
Yeah, I did have one in here earlier, but I knew he would wreak destruction, so I kicked him out before I went live with you guys. I think people are also referring to cats as in the interview that we did over on the Paulcast with Nicholas Schreck, where you walked out of the interview.
Oh, hey, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
That made it. That was, I couldn't have.
He was like, "What's going on?
Couldn't have been worse timing.
What's going on, Danny? What's going on?"
My favorite part of me walking out is like, well, we'll never see him again. Nicholas saying us, that was so good.
He actually cracked a joke on you, dude.
Oh man, that guy has some one line. He has roasted me so many times that I've talked to you. It's just like zing, and I'm just like, wait a second, am I impaled on a samurai sword of humor? What the fuck just happened?
I was there for the interview, so like it could still run smooth. But imagine if it was just you and Nick. That would have been.
James, never censor yourself for me. You go for it, buddy.
Oh man, James, go for it. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for being so excited that we're coming back. It means a lot to all of us. I can speak for all of us when I say that. So, and again, if you are just a Danny After Dark subscriber and you want more Danny, or you're interested in what the hell we were talking about, and you're into the Charles Manson case, go on over to the Paulcast for our Manson Saga Discussion Panel, and you will see live episodes with us each week. So thank you, Paul.
Thursdays.
Thank you, Beckham, for joining.
Real quick, we'll have an update on Danny DiCarlo.
Yeah. We will have an update on Danny DiCarlo soon. The next show will be not this Thursday, but next Thursday. I think if something happens and we do a show, but I don't think we will, but if something happens and we do, it would just be like another chill or something. But we will keep you informed. We'll let you know what sort of interviews we got going on.
Paul, can you read that? I can't read what that says.
Who doesn't want Danny? Me. That's the more Danny. Oh, sorry. That's okay. I mean, I don't know.
You suck.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining. And
check that like button. I'm sorry.
What?
Look at James Watson's last comment.
Votech. He meant to put Voitech.
James, oh my God.
So
you know what? We're going to
perfect.
star that. It's the end of the night, but we're going to star that. All right, everybody. So thank you so much for joining us, and signing off until next time. Remember, we don't live in darkness. Darkness lives in us. Bye, everyone.